The first sign was not a footprint. It was cigar smoke above a house where no one smoked. Nestor Villanueva was 12 and proud of being afraid of nothing. At sunset, he threw 3 stones into the old balete tree and shouted for whatever lived there to come down. Something answered from the branches with one slow breath. That night, while Nestor slept, the roof above him bent beneath a weight no roof was built to carry. Maya asked whether the balete outside our window was the same tree. I told her there had only ever been one tree in San Isidro that people refused to cut. We left tobacco at its roots and said tabi-tabi po when we passed. Not because every balete holds a kapre, apo, but because respect costs very little. Nestor thought respect was another name for fear, and children often learn the difference only after something answers them. By morning, Nestor had scratches across his window and grey ash on his pillow. His mother washed the room, but the cigar smell returned before noon. At school, the smoke curled from his empty desk. At the well, it drifted behind his shoulder. I followed him home and saw a handprint high on their outside wall, too large for any man. My father told Nestor to carry tobacco to the balete and apologize before darkness found him again. Nestor refused until the next night, when the house began to groan. Something moved from one end of the roof to the other with the patience of a giant choosing where to sit. His little sister woke coughing as black smoke pushed through the floorboards. Nestor ran to our house barefoot and finally admitted what he had done. We took a lamp, a bundle of tobacco, and my father's bolo, though my father said steel would mean nothing if the old story was true. At the balete, Nestor placed the tobacco between the roots and asked forgiveness. For a moment, nothing moved. Then the branches lowered without wind, surrounding us like the ribs of a great animal. A cigar ember opened above our heads. Smoke rolled down and became shoulders, arms, and a face larger than our chapel door. The Kapre looked directly at Nestor. It did not roar. It only tapped one stone against the branch and waited for the boy to understand. Lightning showed us everything. A bark dark skin, a tangled beard, eyes burning like coals buried under ash. Nestor bowed so quickly his forehead struck a root. The Kapre accepted the tobacco, then pointed beyond us toward the unlit trail. A second boy stood there for one heartbeat. Nestor's cousin, Emilio, who had vanished the previous rainy season. Nestor called his name. The figure smiled, stepped backward into the fog, and disappeared before any of us could reach him. The weight left Nestor's roof that same night, but Emilio never came home. Adults said the boy had run away. No one explained why his bare footprints ended at the Balete roots, or why cigar ash appeared beside his empty bed every anniversary. Maya looked toward the tree and asked whether Emilio was the first missing person. I told her he was only the first name I wrote down. The next belonged to a trader who followed a mountain trail that refused to end.